Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and today we're going to look at my classic. I don't know what I want to say. A category of whiskey that is always near and dear to my heart. One of my favorites, rye whiskey. Boy, a little tongue tied there for a second. It's been a while since I've reviewed a rye, and this is going back to one of my old standbys, we'll say. When I moved from North Dakota to Whitefish, Montana, Whitefish ski resort town, one of the only towns in Montana that actually has a tax, because Montana doesn't have sales tax, but the town of Whitefish actually has a resort tax that they tax on everything. And so not only is it a ritzy ski town, but it also had a tax on top of stuff. And so went to the store and I was able to find Old Overholt. It was the cheapest rye whiskey I could find. And I want to say just a regular Old Overholt was like $17.99, and that was the cheapest that I could find. And so I drank Old Overholt quite a bit. It is a classic Pennsylvania style rye, in my opinion. It has a lot of rye spice to it. It is not so much of the floral anise eucalyptus style, MGP style that like Bullet or Minor Case or some of those other ryes that are coming out of that are made by MGP. It's not that style. And so it has a little bit different profile. I would say this is more of a profile that is reminiscent of the past as far as what rye whiskey is, air quotes, supposed to taste like. So the original Old Overholt, I did a review of. I was able to buy it here locally for $18.99. This is Old Overholt bottled in bond. I cannot find this here locally. Was able to pick it up in Billings for $26.40. So bottled in bond again. That is a specific category that has, or a specific style of any given category that has strict requirements of it must be bottled at 100 proof, must be made by a single distiller in a single distilling season. Nowadays, we don't really have a distilling season so much, but it's kind of a 6-month time period. And it must be aged for a minimum of 4 years. And that is due to the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897. Look it up. Kind of interesting. So this follows all of the requirements to be a straight rye whiskey and all of the requirements to be bottled in bond. Non-chilled filtered, which means it's going to have a little bit more flavor characteristic. 50% ABV, 100 proof, as we just said. Still a screw top. So don't let the screw tops fool you. Sometimes you can get some really good stuff out of a screw top bottle. Like I said, $26.40 for 100 proof rye whiskey. Rye whiskey kind of tends to start in that $35 and up range anyways. So anytime you can find a rye whiskey under $35, you might want to give it a try and see what's in that bottle, because it tends to be pretty enjoyable stuff. I actually have not had a rye whiskey experience that I disliked. In fact, a little secret today is October 26, 2021. Probably not going to see this video until mid 2022, just because I have so many whiskey videos that on the release schedule I am on, they are not coming out super quick. But I'm leaving tomorrow to go elk hunting rifle season. And I'm going to be driving through Casper, and when I do so, I'm going to be stopping and picking up a couple of bottles of whiskey, and I might just have to search around and find a couple more bottles of rye. So something to be aware of, and I know for a fact we were down there 2 weekends ago, coming back from my wife's antelope hunt, and we were able to find the Rendezvous Rye by High West. Now that is an annual release And they had the 2020 edition and the 2021 edition for about $52. I'll be picking up one of each of those. Plus, I'll be combing through their stocks just to see if there's not an older bottle laying around in there as well. Might be picking up a couple more Laphroaig Lures, which in coming up videos, I'll be doing a review of those, of Laphroaig Lore anyways, and that is some good juice right there. And I was able to find it for like $82, so I might go clean them out. Plus, we'll see what else I can find. It's probably going to be an expensive $500 or $600 whiskey trip, but hey, that's elk hunting, right? So on the nose, I can stick my nose super deep in this glass, not get overwhelmed by ethanol. Now, I did rinse this glass extremely well after the last couple of whiskeys I just did that Ezra Brooks 99, but I'm getting a cherry out of this. A floral cherry that is very reminiscent of a bourbon. Top of the glass. There's some rye. There's definitely a little bit of anise in there. And there is that floral component that some ryes have. But it's actually smelling rather sweet. There's a little bit of grain dust in there. Not getting any of that eucalyptus or anything like that. You can find the old version of the old Overholts. Definitely pick those up as well. They have a black screw top. Even the non-bottled and bond have a red screw top now. But if you can find the old ones, definitely pick one of those up. They're pretty delicious. That's what got me into old Overholt. Okay, on the taste. Very grain forward, like grain bin grain, into a very nice grainy rye spice, into a graham cracker, kind of a dry mouthfeel to start with that kind of pushes into a little bit of an oily cling. You pick up a sweet hard candy cherry, kind of towards the end, a little bit of ethanol, and then it just finishes with a very nice rye spice and sweetness that just keeps going and going and going. Okay, if you have not picked up an old Overholt bottled and bond, you have to do yourself a favor and go get one. This is an incredibly nice rye. I mean, this is just outstanding. And at 100 proof, man, you really can't complain. Like that, it really does have that cherry bourbon, floral bourbon nose. Extremely interesting. Again, second sip. Fruit forward. Man, fruit forward, rye, grain, rye spice into a sweet brown sugar this time. That cherry picks back up. Dries out. A little bit of drying mouthfeel on the finish. Man, I could be convinced that there's a graham cracker in there. This is very well threaded between a high ethanol, spicy high rye mash bill bourbon and a rye whiskey. Like I said, this does not taste like any MGP produced rye. Excuse me. It also doesn't have a lot of the same characteristics that ryes have become known for. This is more of your classic Pennsylvania rye spice, rye flavor. Man, very good. The non-chill filter, they went the right direction on that. Bottled and bond, boy, you really cannot go wrong with this. This is an excellent rye and under $30. Yeah, aged 4 years, so right at the minimum. Boy, I'd almost love to see what this would do if this was aged a little bit longer. Excellent rye, excellent. This is why I love rye whiskey, because you never know what's coming out of the glass. I'll have to have my brother bring me some John Jacob from Washington when he comes next time. Like, rye whiskey is a great exploratory category. I highly recommend you get out there and try and find non-NGP products for rye whiskey. You'll be pleasantly surprised at what comes out of the bottle. There's just good stuff. I got nothing else to say about that. Anyways, I'm rambling. Definitely go ahead and drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of Old Overholt bottled in bond for in your area. As I said, up in Billings, Montana, $26.40. Worth every penny at that price. Also, drop in the comments down below if you've had an experience with Old Overholt in the past, what you think of it, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, rye whiskey in general, all that good jazz. Throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I've been getting back to you most of the comments when I get an opportunity to. And as always, please like and subscribe to the channel if you're getting good information out of this. Also consider sharing this channel, sharing this link with your friends, as I am not doing any sort of promotion myself. I'm not on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any of that crap. I have no social media other than these channels. So if you think that you know somebody who would get some value out of this content, please go ahead and forward them this channel link, and I would greatly appreciate it. As always, you guys have yourselves a great day. Appreciate you watching, and you have yourselves a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.